Hello, my name is Mark Krief. I'm a partner solutions architect at AWS. And today we're going to talk about digital transformation and DevOps and how AWS and PagerDuty can help you achieve this goal. I will start with a quote from Andy Jassy. If you don't have availability, you don't have customer experience. If you're not using PagerDuty, you're missing the boat. The relationship between AWS and PagerDuty dates back to 2009, when PagerDuty's founder Alex, Andrew, and Bhaskar came up with the idea of PagerDuty while working at AWS. PagerDuty is powered by AWS and 100% cloud native. We have a strong relationship with PagerDuty from SAs to developers, and spanning all the way back to AWS with Andy Jassy. PagerDuty and AWS have around 5,000 shared customers and multiple integrations directly into AWS services. So let's talk about what's going on today with digital demand. Today, there is more pressure than ever on your team supporting digital services. Because of the additional reliance and focus on digital, it's even tougher to be on the front lines. PagerDuty recently surveyed 700 DevOps and IT practitioners around the world and found that more than 80% of organizations have experienced a significant increase in pressure on digital services since the start of the pandemic. Compared to 6 months ago, respondents reported a 47% increase in number of daily incidents, and 62% of DevOps IT responders work at least 10 extra hours per week, and that's a lot. Most importantly, it's not going anywhere. 79% of DevOps and IT responders believe that digital acceleration will be their company's #1 priority in 2021. So let's talk about a bit, why do companies move to AWS? The original value proposition of reducing costs, accelerating innovation, scalability, business agility are still valid up until 14 years after AWS is launched. Today, especially during pandemic, the impact of this value propositions takes a greater importance. Now your teams are distributed and your business requires agility and the ability to fail fast. If your business isn't cloud native, you've probably considered already taking steps towards migrating your teams and services to the cloud. And customers demand new functionality all the time. And cloud and DevOps are the only way we can deliver in a fast pace and to compete with and to be competitive with our competitors. 92% of organizations' IT environment is at least somewhat today in the cloud. And cloud computing budgets are on the rise. 32% of IT budget is expected to be allocated to cloud computing within the next 12 months. When you think about moving to the cloud, you can't just lift and shift without putting new processes in place. As organizations think about moving to the cloud and different parts of the business units are already moving, they might have to think how they do ownership. Central IT used to be eyes on glass, but when you go to a service-based model, you're asking everyone to be on call, which is not an easy ask to have. Using PagerDuty to do this gives you a set of guardrails when moving into AWS. With PagerDuty, we can help people rethink about processes of moving from central IT into DevOps. We hold people accountable, routing the right problem to the correct person. We can track and have visibility on who is working on what in a clear way. For large organizations, not everyone shifts at the same time. It's a slow process that can take years. Different parts of the organization move at different points in the maturity model. It takes a long time to digitally transform. And most orgs start in central IT, but as they shift, pockets of their business units look into DevOps and using new tools and what processes they should be, what processes should be like. As they shift to that model, they accelerate change. And when they get to a full DevOps model, they're going to have higher value tasks, not just fixing things. In a DevOps model, you see the greatest amount of development and acceleration. Most organizations sit somewhere in the middle today, so in hybrid, where parts of the organization are still doing central operations and other parts are moving towards full DevOps operations, so full service ownership. And this leads us to ROI. Leveraging PagerDuty in AWS, we see a 5 times return on investment within 4 months and an increase in 10% in productivity. So what is PagerDuty and how exactly does it work? In general, PagerDuty ingests and contextualizes all the signals we have from our infrastructure, whether it's our monitoring and observability tools or IT ops tools, directly from our cloud providers or CI/CD pipelines, and helps us to route it to the correct teams using ITSM application, customer service application, or communications applications. PagerDuty also leverages machine learning to filter out noise or filter out repeat incidents in order to make our operators' life a bit more easy. We have specific integrations with AWS that can help us remediate remotely issues directly from PagerDuty without having to switch context and go to the AWS console and manually fix things. For example, leveraging Amazon EventBridge, we can remediate issues that we find in our systems directly from PagerDuty. For example, if a system found to be running on low resources, and when we get this incident in PagerDuty, we can respond directly with a command to scale up our auto-scaling. Or if we detect a security breach and a virus is detected, we can respond directly from PagerDuty, leveraging EventBridge in order to lock down the network completely and close all the firewalls and try to remediate the issue. Another way to think about PagerDuty, it empowers the full ROI of your tool stack by translating the telemetry that they generate into appropriate action in real time in a matter of seconds. Let's talk about the lifetime of an incident, or how does an incident look like. So before PagerDuty, most of our work was done manually. We'll have to manually detect the incident from multiple tools. We'll have to manually mobilize the correct teams to start fixing that and diagnose it. And we'll have a long time to resolve it because we have multiple moving parts that we have to individually try and fix. And of course, learning from that and doing postmortem can take a very long time because the information is dispersed in multiple locations. With PagerDuty, because everything is consolidated into one single pane of glass, we have a quicker time on detecting and mobilizing our teams. Diagnosing takes less time. Resolving takes less time, and the postmortem, since everything is consolidated to one location, is significantly faster. And if we are coming again and talking about EventBridge, for example, and the integration with PagerDuty, the fact that we can mitigate or remediate issues directly from PagerDuty reduces this time even more because we don't have to switch contexts and move to manually working on our AWS in most cases. So we can have automation for common issues like scaling, like security breaches, done directly from PagerDuty. So let's talk about AWS and PagerDuty service integrations. We currently have 9 integrations with AWS services. We can utilize customized Lambda, for example, through EventBridge to remediate issues. This represents multiple use cases like application infrastructure or security and compliance monitoring. And we have some new integrations with DevOps Guru, which is a AI/ML-based service that detects issues in your applications and helps remediate them. And also with Control Tower. So your organization can have a set guardrail on what to detect and what kind of logs and metrics we want sent to PagerDuty. And finally, Outposts. So also on your AWS Outpost, you can have PagerDuty and get the same experience that you have. Here's an example of a real-time issue. So what happens from the beginning to the end? So we have, for example, an improperly configured firewall that leads to shopping cart issues in our e-commerce site. We have multiple alerts that are being triggered directly from AWS. So our security hub tells us that there are firewall issues. Our guard duty and our Amazon guard duty informs us that there are some firewall issues also. Our AWS CloudTrail can have some audit alarms around this also, or directly from CloudWatch. All these alerts are funneled directly into PagerDuty, and that orchestrates and pings the relevant teams to remediate this problem directly. Now, when we have the Event Bridge integration, we can leverage that integration in order to remediate this issue directly from PagerDuty. So in our example, Event Bridge kicks off a Lambda function and resets the firewall configuration directly. All this reduces our MTTR and MTAA. Let's talk about some customers. So we have PagerDuty has over 13,000 customers. 60% of them are Fortune 100, and we have 500 integrations in general and 9 with AWS, and is currently the leader in G2 in incident management and IT automation. So to summarize everything that we learned today, digital transformation is a very important part of our business. Moving towards DevOps is a very important part of our business today. And together, PagerDuty and AWS can help you not only accelerate this, but also increase your ROI and simplify all the processes that are involved in that. Thank you very much.